This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Afreilichem Purim, you came for a double header in here. This one is unexpected, but I want to share with you something that I just saw. We know that the most important mitzvah on Purim is Matanos Avyonim, gifts to the poor. The Rambam says in Parak Beis of Hilchos Megillah, Halacha Yud Zayin, it's better to spend more money on Matanos Avyonim than on the Suda and Mishlayach Manos. There is no greater and more glorious simcha but to gladden the hearts of the poor, the orphan, the widow, the convert, because making these people rejoice, you're doimet to the Shechina. Like it says, Lahachayos ruach shefalim, ulahachayos lev nidkaim. You become similar to the Shechina. There's no greater joy than to gladden the heart of the broken and the downtrodden. So the question is, why is the Rambam categorizing and classifying and telling us that there's no greater joy than making glad the heart of the despondent or the downtrodden? What is that relevant to? There's a mitzvah of giving gifts to the poor. Why is the Rambam telling me that there's no greater happiness than gladdening the downtrodden? So the Sefer Shalmei Toida explains as follows. We know that in the halacha of Simchas Yom Tov, V'samachta b'chagecha, it says Ata ubincha v'hager v'hayasem v'hamana. The Rambam says included in the mitzvah of Simcha is to feed the convert, the orphan, the widow, because the mitzvah of Simcha includes also being mesameach the heart of the poor. Now, on Purim, there's a mitzvah of Simcha. There's a mitzvah of Simcha. In other words, besides the four mitzvahs of reading the Megillah, Matanos Avyonim, Mishlayach Manos, Sudas Purim, there's a mitzvah. It says Yemei Mishteh V'Simcha. The Rambam says on Yom Yudalid is a Yom Simcha U'Mishteh. Therefore, one is obligated to eat. The Rambam says one is obligated to eat meat and drink wine at Sudas Purim. One is obligated to eat meat and drink wine on Sudas Purim. Why? Because the din simcha is through basar v'yayin. That's interesting halacha, meaning you can't have a suda, eat pizza at your suda. It's a suda of meat. Why? Because besides the mitzvah of simcha, there's a mitzvah of suda. So says the Sefer Shalmei Toida, just like the mitzvah of simcha demands that we eat meat, so too the mitzvah of simcha, included in that, just like on Yom Tif is to be mesameach, the ger, the yasam, the almana, the mitzvah of simcha, of Purim, demands that we experience the highest level of simcha. And since there's no greater, more glorious simcha than elevating the heart of the downtrodden, therefore we're required to give matanos avyonim in order to gladden the heart of the downtrodden. Because that's simcha for us. By the way, now we understand, the Shalmei Toida says, the order of the Rambam. The Rambam, Parak Beis of Hilchos Megillah, he says, in Halacha Yudalid, Purim is a day of simcha. Then in Halacha Tezvav, he says you need to eat meat and drink wine, because we know eating meat and drinking wine is midinei simcha. Then in Halacha Tezayin, he says to distribute to the poor on Purim, but that's also midinei simcha. Like the Rambam then says, ein shem simcha gedola mefuara, than being mesameach leiv ha'aniyim. It's interesting, he brings, the Sefer Shalmei Toida brings from the Ritva, that the mitzvah matanos avyonim is not only a din of tzedakah, it's a din of simcha. Therefore the Bach paskins that even an ani who accepts tzedakah is chayiv in matanos avyonim. Now an ani is not chayiv to give tzedakah, but an ani is chayiv in matanos avyonim. Why? Because matanos avyonim is not just a mitzvah of simcha, not just a mitzvah of tzedakah. If it would just be a mitzvah of tzedakah, an ani would be pater from matanos avyonim. But it's also midin simcha. Okay. Now it's interesting, the Pri Chadash says an ani who gets tzedakah is not chayv in matanos avyonim, not like the Bach. but he is chayv in Mishlayach Manos. So it seems like that the Pri Chadash holds Matanos le'avyonim is a din in tzedakah, and therefore an ani is pater from Matanos le'avyonim. As opposed to the Bach holds, it's a din of simcha, and therefore an ani is chayiv in Matanos le'avyonim. Listen carefully to this. The Magen Avram brings in the name of the Shla that when you say Shechiyanu on the Megillah on the day, you should have in mind Mishlayach Manos and Sudas Purim. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. The Pri Megadim and the Chayei Adam and the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says also Matanos Avyonim. Have in mind the Shechiyanu is also going on Matanos Avyonim. Very interesting. The Magen Avram and the Mishnah Berurah say Shalach Manos and Suda, and the Chayei Adam and the Kitzur add Matanos Avyonim. Why do some poskim say to have in mind Matanos Avyonim and other poskim say not? It could be if Matanos Avyonim is just a din in tzedakah, then you wouldn't say Shechiyanu because you're chayiv in tzedakah the whole year, so you wouldn't make a Shechiyanu. But if it's a din in the simcha, then you would have it in mind for Shechiyanu, because then it's a mitzvah that comes mizman lizman. Okay, well, that's just, for extra credit for those who came to the 10:15 shir. Thank you very much. I wish you all a freilichen Purim, bracha v'atzlacha. Thank you. Kol tov, kol tov. Freilichen, thank you. Regards, kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.